When thinking about evangelism, there are lots of different ways you can go. And for me, it's very personal. I didn't grow up in the church and had never heard the gospel. And when I was a senior in college is really where I understood the gospel for the first time. And I had a dramatic transformation. One of those, just met Jesus and my whole life totally changed. I know it doesn't always work that way, but for me it did. And the church, Jesus through the church, saved my life. I mean, I was going 100 miles an hour the wrong direction, and Jesus turned my life around, and the church embraced me and totally changed my life forever, for all of eternity. And when I became a pastor, I just knew there were so many people out there just like me, that they needed Jesus, and then they needed the church to come around them and enfold them and assimilate them and disciple them and all of that. And so that's what we've really tried to focus on as a church, is reaching lost people, enfolding them, discipling them, and so forth. And, I truly believe that, I think Bill Hybels made it popular of the local church is the hope of the world. I truly believe that. And Jesus said in Matthew 16:18, I will build my church, and the gates of hell will not prevail against it. And recently I was meditating on that verse, and I felt like the Lord said to me, the church is the only thing that the world is not prevailing against right now. The enemy, the devil, is prevailing against everything else. The racial situations, the wars, all the stuff with ISIS, and economy. You just list it on out. It's amazing how much the enemy is gaining foothold. But the church is the one thing that Jesus is building. And when we invest in the church and when we reach out one person at a time, and Jesus gets a hold of them through our church, it changes them, and the gates of hell will never prevail against it. And that's why we just always need to be an outreach-focused church, just trying to reach people like us that need Jesus and then need the church to come around them and assimilate them and disciple them.